Welcome back to my video. I don't know if you do it this way or this way. But hey, welcome back. I'm here for my weekly debt confession update. I'm on a journey to pay off all my debt, including my house, which totals over $500,000 of debt. If you haven't done so, subscribe to this channel and join me on this journey. This video is going to get a little bit deep. We're going to go deep into co-signing, and we're going to go deep into whether you should pay off a mortgage or not. So let's get started. Let me know in the comments if you prefer to see a comparison of my balances from when I first started posting the videos from the previous week, or both. I hope that makes sense. So let's start with my student loan. I have a consolidated FFEL student loan, aka a faux federal loan, which is a loan that used to be a federal loan but was sold to a private company. This loan balance, the interest rate is at 4.625%, and my total minimum payment is $503, but I pay $341 per week for now. That will change once the federal loans go back into effect, which is the end of August. So that will change and be lower, but for right now, I'm paying $341 per week. This loan is comprised of a subsidized federal loan and an unsubsidized federal loan. Unfortunately, I only have the cumulative total from last week, as I did my May closeout video and I didn't, do the breakdown of the individual balances between the two components. But that total last week was $34,049. As of June 10th, which is today, the principal balance of the unsubsidized portion is $11,803. The principal balance of the subsidized portion is $21,459. So let's go ahead and add that up. We have 11,803 plus the 21,459, and that gives a total of $33,262. Yay! So that is a change from last week. Let's see. That is a change from last week. Well, not last week, but May 31st of $787. Woo! So I did receive an extra gift last week, and I was able to put an extra $100 on this loan. And so I'm sure that helped. And that was on top of what I usually pay. So this is a major win. I'm excited about this progress. Next up is my credit card. The balance is still a whole whopping $0. Woo! So peer pressure is really major. I was so not trying to get on here and say that I had a balance of anything. So I made sure to keep it 0. I was going to put my final trip payment on my credit card, but there was no way I was going to come on here and tell you guys I had a credit card balance. So I did not do that. I used my debit card to pay off, make my final payment on my trip. I also wanted to put my travel insurance on my credit card, but I decided to wait until I get paid this week. And so I'll just pay that in cash. But thank you guys for holding me accountable. I will not be utilizing this credit card. Okay, now for the infamous cosign loan. I appreciate all the suggestions you've provided. I know one person told me that I should sue. Another person told me that I should just pay it off and take it as a lesson learned. Another person said that I should refinance it to a lower interest rate, then pay it off. And I just really appreciate all your feedback, all your comments. And so here's my response to some of those. In regards to suing, I am hesitant to sue because one, I don't believe it will hold up in court. I voluntarily co-signed that loan, and so I just don't have confidence that that would stand. I don't have any written agreement with the person about repayment, which I should have had. One, I shouldn't have co-signed at all. Like, let's make that very clear. If you are in a position where you are being asked to co-sign, just don't do it. Especially not with family, because that just makes everything trickier. Um, to be honest, my husband is all for suing. He actually proposed that to me many months ago. And so he's all for that. It's just me. I'm hesitant to do so. This is also a very close family member in proximity, not necessarily relationship, but you know, when you go down the family line, this is like really close proximity to me in my family. So just the dynamics of that weigh heavy on me. I don't necessarily care if that person gets mad about me suing, but if I sue that person, it's going to involve other family members and it becomes a whole big ordeal. And for me, it's just not worth the stress. Now, my husband is of the mindset that we should not be paying a working adult student loan, and I absolutely can't argue with him on that. Like, we shouldn't, but this is the situation we are in at this point, and so I just have to, you know, deal with it. I am, however, 1,000% in agreement with just paying it off, especially with the refinancing option, because the interest rate is very high. It's 14.7%, 14.75% right now, and it's a variable rate. Is very crazy. So I'm all about just paying it off. However, you know, I know this person has no intentions to pay it off. I'm okay with cutting my losses and just letting it be over. However, my husband is not feeling that option at all. He's not on board with it at all because he does believe somehow we can force this person to pay the loan back. So that's where I'm at with that. That's like a tricky place to be in. What I am considering is transferring maybe smaller amounts to a refinance loan or a personal loan. I do have a credit union that typically offers good rates. So I don't know if I would do like a $5,000 lump sum initially and refinance that in my name and just pay that off at a lower interest rate and just keep doing that as the $5,000 gets paid off. That way it won't be the whole $20,000, which I didn't get to that balance yet, but it won't be the whole balance amount. But you know, I'll be able to save some interest, and I'll also be able to give that person time, and give us time to figure out how to quote unquote make this person repay this loan back. With all that said, the balance is $20,516, which is actually up from the $20,434 that it was on May 31st. That's up by $82, which once again is crazy. I pay $145 twice per month on this loan, and that totals $290 per month. From last month, the month of May, only $35.50 went towards paying down the principal. The rest went towards interest. And so that really sucks. Just it sucks. The interest rate is variable. It's gone up. When I first started making these videos, the interest rate was at 14.625%. It's now at 14.75% today. I know that doesn't seem like a significant increase, but every little bit adds up. I don't know if there's like a cap on the interest rate. I don't know if once it hits a certain point, it won't go up anymore, but it's really scary to see that it can just keep progressively going up. And not only that, that interest accrues daily on the loan. So I'm getting nowhere by only paying the minimum. Obviously, something has to change, and it has to change immediately. So I know I do need to make some decisions ASAP. Okay, last but not least is my mortgage. This balance hasn't changed since the May closeout video from May 31st. And so the balance is still $486,438. And this is at 2.25%. So I want to talk about this as well. I've been reading a couple of the comments on whether or not I should rush paying off my home or not. So here's the thing. One, my focus right now is getting all the student loans paid off. So my student loans and this cosigned loan. That is my focus. I'm not paying anything extra on my mortgage at this point until these loans are paid off. Next, this is like the added layer that I didn't mention in previous videos, but I'm going to address now. This loan is an FHA loan. We did qualify for a 30-year conventional loan. However, due to my credit score at that time, the interest rate was going to cause a higher monthly payment than the payment we accepted through the FHA loan. However, this was a huge mistake for us to accept this FHA loan. If you have not heard of PMI, it stands for Private Mortgage Insurance. It's the lender's way of protecting themselves, and it's typically required if you have less than 20% equity in your home. Now, after you have that 20%, you typically no longer have to pay the PMI. Well, what we did not know at that time, but we know now, is that with new FHA loans, you cannot get rid of the PMI. Even once you have 20% equity in your home. Right now, we have about 26% equity in our home, but we still have to pay this PMI for the life of the mortgage. So our PMI, the PMI portion of our payment is $319. Our total payment is $2,812. I mean, that includes insurance and property taxes and stuff like that. But $319 of that every month is going towards PMI. If you do the math, that's almost $115,000 that's just going to PMI. So if I take 30 years to pay this loan off, I would have been just giving away $115,000. And I'm not willing to do that. The problem comes in is that we can't refinance to a conventional loan right now because we would need a rate of less than 4% in order to obtain a more favorable payment than we currently have. If you've paid any attention to mortgage rates right now, they're like really high. The prime rate as of today is 8.25%. So us trying to refinance right now is not going to put us in a better position. Essentially, we're stuck. So that's another reason why paying the mortgage off early is high priority for me. Last but not least, I value security over money. I love that nobody can come take our cars because we own them. I want to have that same love for this house. Right now, if I can't make the mortgage payment, my house could be foreclosed on and I no longer have my home. That does not give me peace of mind. What will give me peace of mind is having this house paid for in full, having it paid off. That far outweighs any monetary sum for me that I could receive through investing. My husband and I are both investing for retirement. We have 529 set up for our kids, which I definitely forgot to include on my May closeout video, but I'll be sure to include those on my June closeout video. We're doing what's necessary to achieve our goals. Aside from new cars, because we both have very old cars, so we will need new cars soon. And they don't have to be brand new. By new, I mean new to us. Aside from that, we don't have any major purchases to make in life. Like this home was the major purchase. We're not ever going to buy another home like this. If we do decide to move at some point, it'll be to downsize. We're not going to end up spending more on a home than what we've currently spent for this home. So what I'm basically getting at is that I have everything that I want right now in my life, and I do want the peace of mind of having my home paid off. I'm not concerned with losing out for any potential gains from investing. I know that is important. I know mathematically it makes sense, but for me, the peace of mind far outweighs that, and the gain is not significant enough for me to want to keep this mortgage. So, with that being said, I know this has been a lot, this video, but with that being said, from my student loans, I had $33,262. From my close-signed loan, I have $20,516, and from my mortgage, I have $486,438. So that gives me a total of $540,216 left to pay off. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate all of my subscribers. I thank you, everyone who has left comments, feedback, advice. I appreciate your advice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more of my journey. Stay tuned. Thank you.